I just watched Mystic Pizza. It's an old film from many years ago from the, I don't know if it's late 80s, early 90s, something like that, maybe even later than that. It's an alright film. But it's full of cliches. And I don't know, because it's an older film, they may not have been cliches back then, but they certainly have become that way now. So I just wanted to sort of bring some of them up and talk about them. Because I'm fascinated with cliches, because I don't necessarily dislike them in films. In fact, they're good for me, because I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I do a movie quiz, and it's all done with clips and stuff. So every time I watch a film, I'm examining it for which of the rounds it could be in. I do a round where every there's 10 movies. And then the final one is what happened next, where it'll show a 30-second clip, and at the end, it's like, what happens next? And you have to sort of name the film and identify what happens next. So every time I watch a film, I'm trying to figure out which of the categories in my quiz that film could fall into. And so when I see cliches, they're good ones to do in what happens next round. Because if people don't know the film, they might be able to, if it's a well-established cliche, they might be able to guess, you know, what happens next. So for that reason, I don't really mind cliches, you know, I don't have a big problem with them. As a writer, you know, there's a part of me that I think should. I'm supposed to hate cliches. I'm supposed to go against that and say, you know, it's unoriginal and unimaginative and boring and lazy. Well, maybe it is those things. What I do like about cliches, though, is that in my writing, I do tend to try and take a cliche and then twist it on its head, or turn it round, or take it a step further. Do something with it that's not been done before. So again, from a writing point of view, cliches are actually really useful to me. So Mystic Pizza, starring Julia Roberts, Annabeth Gish, Lili Taylor, Vincent D'Onofrio, some other people who I didn't really know very well, and Matt Damon's in it for like 5 seconds. It must be before he did Good Will Hunting and became famous. So for that reason, it's got to be early 90s, isn't it? It's a romantic comedy, basically. It's about 3 sisters, and it's about their love lives. And each of their love lives is an established movie romantic cliche. There's the one that Julia Roberts' character sees the guy that she's dating with another girl at a restaurant, and she goes bananas, and she gets a big bucket of fish from her sister's boyfriend's van and dumps it all in his open top car, and the guy comes out and goes, "No, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And she says, "What are you doing with that girl? You know, you're cheating on me, you're a bastard, I hate you, and you deserve it." And he goes, "It's my sister." You know, really? Firstly, you know, maybe back then that wasn't such an obvious thing. Maybe it wasn't such a cliche. These days, the whole thing of it, the misunderstandings, and well, they kind of drive me a bit crazy. Because I don't mind misunderstandings, I've used them myself, but it's misunderstandings where it could easily be resolved if the character just explained what had happened, and they don't. You know, you get that in films as well sometimes. That really drives me up the fucking badger. It's when a cliche... don't ask me why I said badger there, I have no idea. Cliche, I've tried not to be cliche. And cliche, I don't think it's even a word. So I'm going further and further away from cliches that I possibly can. I've completely forgotten what I was saying. Badgers. It was something about badgers, wasn't it? Because you get that often, where a moment will happen, one character is misunderstood, and the other character doesn't say anything. The other character stands there kind of going, what? No, and then they go, "Oh, I can explain." What do you mean you can explain? Explain it. Don't tell them you can explain. Just explain it. Why are you telling... I can explain, and I will get round to it eventually, but first I need to explain to you how I'm going to explain and when I'm going to explain. Maybe next Tuesday I will explain this situation, even though it would solve every bit of misunderstanding if I just did it now, but I can explain later on at a later date. I mean, just like, fucking tell them. It drives me mad. That one drives me mad. It happens in a lot of films, a lot of shows, things like Friends, happen in Friends all the fucking time. Misunderstandings that could easily, one character just has to go, "It's my sister," or you know, or "I didn't know who she was," or you know, just anything like that. Or "I was helping her out because she dropped her purse." You know, it's usually something easily explained. And they just don't explain it. And the reason they don't explain it is because it's dramatic for them not to. But from an audience point of view, you just kind of go, "Oh, just tell them." That's a cliche that really gets my tits. The other cliche is the tearing up of the check cliche. That fucking drives me mad because we're supposed to somehow identify with that. We're supposed to somehow think that's taking a moral stand. You know, in this film, and you know, you've seen it before. I know you've seen it before, unless you've never seen a film. In this film, you know, there's a double cliche here. This film is about a man who's married and the girl that's the babysitter that he has a bit of a fling with, and it's all that thing about, oh, he's never going to leave his wife. Of course he's never going to leave his fucking wife. And so there's this sort of implication that he denied that they were separated, and yet she still allowed the affair to happen. So, you know, we're kind of supposed to sympathise with her because she's one of the three sisters, and she's played by an actress who is kind of likeable in a very sort of like you want to sympathise with her. So that kind of implies that we're supposed to think that that's okay. And then at the end of the film, he says he's going back to his wife, and he gives her some money. Not sort of services rendered type thing. He gives some money because she wants to be an astronomer. Not an astrologer. She wants to be an astronomer, and she's into stars and stuff, and she's got a big telescope, and she wants to go to Yale to study astronautics, I don't know. Astronomical fees. And he goes, and she walks into the kitchen where her sisters and the mother character, who isn't actually the mother, is, and she tears the check up, throws it on the floor. And we're supposed to, because happens all the time, we're supposed to sort of think that's a noble thing to do. We're supposed to go, yeah, do that, yeah. Stay as a waitress, that's right. Don't take the bastard's money. That'll teach him a lesson, won't it? I don't really get it. I understand that there's a kind of fundamental implication that doing that is a moral act. But I think it's just a fucking stupid thing to do, because it doesn't make me sympathise with the character. It makes me kind of go, what? Take the money. Take the money and live your dream. What are you doing? Life's hard enough as it is. Just ordinarily, without throwing away those opportunities. That's just fucking bonkers. So there we go, that's my rant for today. I'm not really ranting about the movie. It just happens to contain a number of cliches that make me kind of mad. And like I said, I don't even mind cliches, not really. But this film, it's like it's cliche the movie. But I enjoyed the film. I did enjoy the film. I enjoy all films. Mystic Pizza. And there's an annoying thing in the film as well, which I kind of enjoyed the annoyingness of it, is that the pizzas that they make at this Mystic Pizza parlour are like amazing. And they talk about, all the way through, they talk about this secret ingredient that only the mother hen knows about. Maybe it's eggs, I don't know. And they talk about all the way through saying, oh, at the end of the film you're going to tell us what it is, aren't you? The characters say, you know, when the film comes to an end and we've all had our hearts broken and we're all together as sisters and we're stronger and better people for it, you're going to tell us what the mystic ingredient in the pizzas are, aren't you? And she goes, yeah, of course I am, yeah. And I believe the last line of the film, as they're all standing outside, is, what does she put in those pizzas? And they all laugh heartily. And then the camera tilts up to the sky and the credits start and you go, fucking bastards!